Hello, Frank. This is Alex from FG Automation. How are you today?
I'm doing great, thanks. How about you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. I'm calling to confirm your scheduled appointment with us tomorrow at 11 p.m. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
So, by running an agency myself and talking to friends who own similar businesses, we realized we were burning through thousands of dollars of cash just to confirm appointments with leads. Text confirmations such as SMS confirmations and email confirmations were not cutting it anymore. They'd often get ignored. And let's not even talk about the cost of having someone to call each lead. So I had this idea. With all this talk about voice models lately, why not give it a shot? So what I did is that I set up this trial system using Google Sheets, which collects lead information and appointment times, and then makes these customized calls that sound just like a real person. Simple, right? In this video, I'm going to show you how I did it. Let's dive in. If you're new to the whole AI voice stuff, I'll give you a quick rundown now on the current state of the industry and the kind of options we have as AI agency owners or as business owners to adopt these AI systems. They're definitely not in their final form right now, but we're starting to see different platforms that are allowing people like us to come on and build AI voice assistants. You can create an AI agent on some of these platforms, like the one I'm going to show you today, and use it as an inbound AI calling system. For example, if you run some kind of restaurant and you want to replace your staff's tasks of answering the phone, you can set up an AI to handle these calls. It will allow the customers to interact with this AI agent, learn more about the business, and even provide answers from a knowledge base without the staff having to even interact at all. It's a super handy use case for inbound calling where people call into a phone line and an AI picks up. Then we have outbound AI calling systems, which open up a ton of cool use cases as well. For example, if you are an agency owner and you do cold calling at scale, you can set up an AI outbound caller to ring a bunch of businesses. You have to be careful because you're not allowed to call consumers in some regions, but you can definitely call businesses. So if you have a list of business leads that you're able to contact and pass through to your AI calling system, that's one way of generating leads as a business. And towards the end of any outbound system, regardless if it's AI enabled or not, there's a component where we follow up with leads about their appointment they have scheduled, right? This typically involves catching up with the leads who have already shown interest and have already booked a call with you, and you simply want to reconfirm the interest in the meeting, right? And there's two ways of confirming a meeting or an appointment with the lead. So you obviously have text confirmation, SMS or email, and then you have a call confirmation, right? Someone physically calls the person and ensures they attend the meeting, right? But research has shown us that people do not reply to text confirmations that often, right? And no wonder. You have a lot of messages coming in from your phone from many different parts, right? Social media, WhatsApp, and so on and so on. So it's really easy to just disregard an SMS that has arrived in your phone about a meeting, right? And there you go. So calling is a much more effective method of confirmation than texting. And regarding what I previously said, that's exactly what we're going to build today. We're going to build a very basic but very convenient AI voice confirmation system that's going to catch up on our leads to understand if they're going to attend the meeting or not. So now I'm going to show you a demo. I'm going to put you in a different angle so that you can see my screen and myself. And what you're going to see in the screen is a little client tracker that I made that has information about the leads that I want to catch up with. The way this works within Google Sheets is very simple. I've built it in such a way so that the only thing that you have to do is select the row containing the information of the lead that you want to catch up with and simply tick the box adjacent to it. The last row here contains information about my phone number, my name, Frank, and the time of my appointment, 11 p.m. So we're going to tick that box, and I should be receiving in my phone number a call very soon. There you go. I'm going to answer.
Hello, Frank. This is Alex from FG Automation. How are you today?
I'm doing great, thanks. How about you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. I'm calling to confirm your scheduled appointment with us tomorrow at 11 p.m. Do you still plan to attend that appointment?
Yes, I will attend that appointment indeed.
Wonderful. I'm glad to hear that. I've noted your confirmation for the appointment tomorrow at 11 p.m. Please let me know if anything changes and you need to reschedule. Otherwise, we look forward to seeing you then. Have a great rest of your day, Frank.
All right. Yeah, I should be fine. No rescheduling. Thank you.
Great. thank you, Frank. I appreciate your time and look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
All right, so now you should see that I will be attending indeed that call at 11 p.m. I don't know if you should be afraid or excited, but nevertheless, I will show you how to build this in this video. Let's go. So what we first have here is our Google Sheet containing our lead data. And what's going to happen in the background is that once we tick the box of a certain row, this is going to trigger a Google app script playing in the background. And we're going to package this information that you see here, and we're going to send it to Make via a webhook. And now, once in make.com, a certain automation is going to run that's going to get this information as well as some other parameters that we need to define our voice agent in Bland AI. And once this is all set in a JavaScript object, we're going to send all that information as an API call or HTTP request to Bland AI, okay? And here in Bland AI, this is where we're going to initiate that phone call, given the instructions or the parameters that we set before on the HTTP request in Make, okay? So we're going to make the call. The lead is going to confirm if they are going to attend the meeting or not. And once that is finished, I've set it up so that it sends that information along with a transcript of the call onto make.com via another webhook, okay? So this make.com automation is a different automation to this one, okay? There are two separate automations. And what this automation is going to do is that it's going to grab a transcript of the phone call that happened in Bland AI. And we're going to pass this information through a ChatGPT module. And this ChatGPT module is going to tell us if the lead is coming or not to the appointment. Once we have that yes or no, we're going to send that information onto our Google Sheets, which is the last block of the system. And it's going to go to the row where we tick that box, and it's going to fill it up with a yes or no in the coming column, okay? And that's all it is. Amazing. So now we're going to go to the step-by-step tutorial. See you there. So the first step is going to be to set the Google Sheet, the Google App script, and the trigger. So this is my Google Sheet tracker with information about my leads that I got elsewhere. I've changed the phone numbers and the names slightly, so you will not be able to find any of these leads. But the thing that you have to consider here is the way you make tick boxes. So you will go to insert and then select tick box right here. Okay, very simple. And then I've put this as an aid. So you see the coming column here. If you type yes, it's going to turn green. And if you put no, it's going to turn red, right? This is a great visual aid if you have to give this tracker to a personal assistant that will track the calls for you, okay? So once this is set up, now we're going to go to extensions, select app script, and we're going to come up with an editor where you will place in your script, okay? What this script does, as I explained before, is that it's going to catch the phone number, the first name, and the appointment hour based on the box that you have ticked, right? On the row that you have ticked. And it's going to send it to make.com via the following webhook right here, okay? Once we start setting up the automation on make.com, I will show you how to get this. But in the meantime, you can leave this blank. We have one more thing left to set up on this app script section, which would be on the triggers tab. So we're going to select that. And what we're going to do is that we're going to add a trigger. Okay, so we need to add the trigger in order to run the script. Okay, this trigger will run on an edit. So this edit will be once the box is ticked. Okay, you can leave this as it is from spreadsheet, and you're going to change this and select on edit. Okay, you can leave this as it is. Then you can scroll down and select save. And importantly, I mean, you shouldn't have any other function, but you will select the on edit function, which is this one. Okay, basically on a trigger, you're able to select on the same script different functions, right? But it's okay because on this editor, you should only have this function right here. Just letting you know in case that you build a more complex script with more functions. I will delete this I just made it for a demonstration because I already have another trigger. So I'm going to delete this trigger so that I only have one, okay? So as of now, you should have the Google script set up as well as the Google Sheet, okay? That should be sorted. Now we're going to move on to setting the first Make.com automation. Let's go. So the first thing that you're going to do, if you haven't done it yet, is to sign up and create a new Make.com account. Make.com account is my favorite automation platform. It's the one that I use for most cases when I engage in projects in my own agency, FG Automation. I love it because of the generous free tier that it gives you, especially for those of you that are starting in this AI space. And I feel that the UI is much more intuitive and it goes to much more depth than what Zapier offers with their UI. So once again, it's great to start with when you get in the AI automation space, and it's just better overall in my opinion, and you also save much more money. So I know that this is something that it is of a concern for many of you, or something that you consider a lot when using these tools is the cost. So rest assured, Make.com is a great choice for you to start with and to even engage in complex projects. So once you created an account, you are going to log in and you're going to create a new scenario, okay? I have it here on this other tab. I already made the scenario, but what you're going to do here is to get a webhook module, okay? So we're going to look for the webhook module and we're going to get it, and then we're going to select custom webhook and you will add a new webhook, okay? Call it something that makes sense to this scenario. So you can call it voice agent send data if you want. And what's going to happen here is that you're going to get a webhook address that redirects to this automation. And this is what you're going to copy and paste back in the app script, okay? So you're going to go back to the app script and you're going to paste that right here, like that. And so once you make any changes on the app script, make sure to save it every time, okay? Once we have pasted the webhook address, which should be the same as this webhook address, we are ready to make the first test, okay? Firstly, we're going to test if tick of the box on the Google Sheet will be received by the webhook, okay? So we're checking that if we tick the box, the onEdit trigger right here does indeed trigger this app script, which will take the information from the Google Sheet and it will be received by this webhook with the address that we stated on the Google app script. So let's test that. We're going to come here and you see here that we can stop that and you can see what it says here, right? Redetermine data structure. So anytime that you are sending a new type of data into this webhook, or you simply want to test that the data is received from this end, all you have to do is click this, right? It's going to listen to any incoming data. And what we're going to do is going to come back here. Let's tick this last box, okay? And let's come back here. And if everything is right, we should see that it has been successfully determined. Okay. So before we add the next module, you have to make sure that you put a meaningful name to your automation, because if you plan on stacking up more and more automations on this Make.com account, then you have to make sure that the automations have a meaningful name and that makes sense with regards to what they do. Because if you have 10, 20, 30 automations and you don't have the right name, you're going to get mixed up. So we're going to change the name of this and you can call it something like send data from Google Sheets to Bland AI. And Bland AI in this case is the voice agent platform that we're going to send data to, okay, to make the phone call. All right, so now what we're going to do is add a module here, and we're going to add an HTTP module. This is the module that we're going to use to get the information from Google Sheets and send it to Bland AI to make the voice call, okay? We have two ways of doing it. We can make a request or a basic auth request. We will choose the first option. This is how it looks filled in, okay? We're going to go through this, don't worry. And nevertheless, as I said before, I will leave a link down in the description so that you can download all the templates, okay? All right, so the first step is to write this URL, okay? This is the URL to make these calls that we're going to do. Second is the method. So this is the method in which we make API calls. In this case, we use post because we are sending or posting information to another service, okay? So we have post and we have get. Get is the other way around. So we are getting something. We are receiving something from another service, okay? Now we have headers. So this is one header. This is another header or an item or a second item. And For the name here, we're going to put authorization. Remember, it has to be exactly as you see here. Okay. For the value, you put in your API key, okay, that you're going to get from your Bland AI account. I will show you how to do this. You can leave this blank for the moment. Let's keep going. Then you put content type, application JSON, okay, exactly how it says here. Then we go a bit more down, select raw as the body type, content type JSON, application/JSON, okay? And now we get to the request content. This is the exact set of instructions that we're going to send to Bland AI in order to create the voice agent with the exact parameters that we want it to do when it engages in a call, okay? This has information about the voice type, the first sentence that it should say, the quality of the voice, the speed and all that, okay? But we'll get to there. We'll fill that out with the API key and you will parse the response, okay? And then you can click OK and make sure to click save, right? So now the scenario was saved. All right, so now we have two things left. We have the API key to fill in and the request body. Okay, this will have the instructions, the prompts, and everything that we need to send to the AI voice agent. Okay, so let's go to Bland AI's website and get to your account. Okay, so we are in Bland AI's website right now, and what you're going to do is you're going to start for free, put in your details, okay, your email and your phone number, and then you're going to go through a verification process to make sure that your phone number is real. And once you have done that, you will be able to log in to your account. And this is what you will see, okay? So once you're here, you will go to your account and select API keys, okay? And you'll see here that you have your first name, phone number, and your API key, okay? This is the thing that you're going to copy, okay? And you're going to copy that and bring it back onto make.com and paste it below authorization, okay? Below the authorization body, okay? Just that. Great. Now that we have that sorted, the last thing that we have to set up is the request content, okay? So let's have a look at that. Okay, so we are here in our Bland AI account. What we're going to do is that we're going to scroll down to the resources section and click documentation. Here is where the magic is explained, okay? The documentation here explains us how we have to structure our body, okay, the request body that we've seen here on make.com, okay? If you remember, this request content here, or request body, is basically a JavaScript object which contains a key and a value, okay? For example, let me find something more simple. This is a key separated by a colon, and here's a value, okay? It's basically a large array of keys and values, all right? The key represents the parameter that is defined by them, and then the value is something that we can choose, okay? It's like an option. So what we have here is the first key, which is the phone number, and the value is going to be the phone number that we have grabbed from Google Sheets, okay? If you remember earlier, what we have done is we have clicked redetermine data structure, all right? And we have tested that the Google Sheet and make.com connect together, and the Google Sheet data was able to get to make.com via a webhook, okay? Because of you doing this, when you select a form or like an input from this form, for example, you click here, you will be able to see some information, okay? Should be able to. Something very important for the phone number, okay, is that Bland AI requires you to have your phone number in a specific format, okay? If you see here on my Google Sheet, the phone number has the country code +34 and then the actual phone number, right? But it doesn't have the plus. So what we do is that we add this manually right here. So what you're going to do between the quotation marks and before this variable phone number, you're going to add a plus, okay? Very important, because then Bland AI is not going to be able to make that phone call to that lead. All right, next is the task key, okay? The value that you're going to put here is also between quotation marks, and this is going to be the instructions that you give to the voice agent so that it does what you want it to do, right? It's basically like telling ChatGPT what to do. Bland AI, like ChatGPT, is another large language model that you have to give instructions to, okay? Basically works the same. So what you do is you type your prompt, okay? In this case, I instructed the voice agent that my name is Alex and I'm calling from FG Automation, and that my goal is to confirm appointments or reschedule as needed. If you watched the demo, you clearly saw that, okay? You can give it some more information about how to start the call and what to ask, Okay, so here what I put is the first name variable, right, as you see here, and the appointment hour. So it's the voice agent is going to ask this stuff as well, since I put it in the task key. Okay, right, some other stuff, but as I say, you can resort back to the documentation if you want to see the best practices on how to structure this prompt in the best way possible. The third key that I have put is Matt. Okay, by default it's Maya. So if we go back here and you scroll down, you can see the keys, right, and the values, formatting examples as well. This is what I explained before about the plus, right? We're going to go down, and here we're going to see the the voices. Okay, so we can choose between these. Okay, you can choose Ryan, Adriana, Matt, right, and all these. So coming back, that's what I have done. I have chosen Matt. The next key is reduce latency. I set this to true, but I've checked the documentation now and it says that it has been deprecated. Deprecated means that it is out of use. All these that say that are deprecated have all been put in the single voice key. So what that means is that we can remove this. Okay. The next key is the first sentence, okay? This is the first thing that the voice agent is going to ask, okay? Once you pick the phone number, it's going to say this exactly how you want it, okay? If we go back to the documentation and look for the first sentence, you see that it's not required, okay? Like in here. So it really depends on your use case, but for my use case, I will put in the first sentence key. The next key. So the voice settings key is a very interesting one that you can definitely play around if you're curious to test the limits of the voice agent, okay? If you want to play around and configure your voice agent to your liking, okay? For now, I'm going to leave them like this. And so if you're interested to understand what these parameters mean, you can go back to the documentation under the voice setting objects and feel free to have a read, okay? But for now, we're going to go back and I'm going to explain you the last key, which is very important, which is the webhook key, okay? So this webhook address that you see here will send the information about the transcript and any other information that you want to pick during the voice call, all right? So we're going to pick that information and then we're going to send it through this webhook onto our second automation in Make, which is going to grab that information, use that ChatGPT module that we mentioned before, and push the data to Google Sheets to understand if the lead is coming or not, okay? So in order to get this webhook URL, we're going to get onto the other make.com automation. Let's go. All right, so here we are within our second automation, which is going to format the data that we get from the Bland AI voice call and put it in our Google Sheets to understand if the lead is coming or not, as previously mentioned. So within this webhook module, we're going to copy the address, okay? Go back to the previous automation, go to the HTTP request and just paste it right here, okay? So once you have that done, click OK and make sure to click save, okay? Always remember to save. All right, so you can do the check again, okay? But the way we're going to check this is by actually triggering the Bland AI call, okay? What we're going to do now is we're going to hit redetermine data structure, okay? And once we set everything else for the test and we make sure that the call happens, we should see that this turns green, right? And that it says data successfully determined, okay? So we leave that as it is. We go back here. We're going to run that once for now. Okay, and now all that we have to do is go back once again and click this button. We should receive a call, answer the call, and then we should see here data successfully determined, okay? So let's do that right now. So now we should receive a call, okay?
Hello, Frank. This is Alex from FG Automation. How are you today?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Okay. I'm calling to confirm your appointment scheduled for 11 p.m. tonight. Do you still plan to attend?
Yeah, I do still plan to attend, yes.
Wonderful. I'm glad to hear that. I'll make a note that you're all set for your 11 p.m. appointment tonight. Please let me know if anything changes and you need to reschedule. Otherwise, I hope you have a great rest of your day, Frank.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Frank. Have a great day.
All right, so now you should see that should turn green, and it did, right? If you read up closely, it said successfully determined. And if you go back to the previous automation, we see that this has ran as well. This automation has ran, and that means that throughout the whole automation, from Google Sheets to the second automation, this has worked, okay? Now we are ready to set up this last part of the automation, okay? Let's do it. All right, so given that you have verified the webhook, now we can get onto the OpenAI create a completion module. You're gonna click here and yeah, you choose your model. I suggest you do GPT-4 and the role is gonna be user, okay? And you will write the following message, okay? You'll be provided a transcript of a call performed by a voice agent, blah, blah, blah. Your objective is to understand the transcript and you're to respond with yes or no only. Why yes or no only in this explicit format? This is because the way I have set up the sheet is so that if you put in yes, right? You can even type yes like this, but it has to be yes, because if you do like this, it's not going to identify it, right? So going back to this, right? That's what I put here. Very important, do not output anything other than yes or no. And I'm providing it with the transcript, okay? Very important. This is the reason we did what we did here, right? This is the reason we redetermined the data structure, because if you did not redetermine the data structure, you will not be able to see all this, okay? I mean, you can run it as well, but if you don't have this automation already, it's wiser to just redetermine the data structure, right? So you'll be able to see this, right? If you have done that successfully. And what I want to pick is right here. You see here, the concatenated transcript, okay? So you're gonna put in that there and then click OK. Now we're going to add a text parser. The reason I'm putting a text parser is to remove the plus sign from the phone number, okay? Why am I doing this? I'm doing this because later on this Google Sheets module, I'm going to search for a row, okay? I'm going to search for the row that I used to call the person, okay? So if you remember before, I ticked this box, all right? And I grabbed this information, okay? So I'm sending this, right, to Blind AI, and Blind AI is retrieving me the transcript, but it also contains information about the phone number. And this phone number is what we're going to use in the search rows in order to understand in what row do we have to put the word yes or the word no. Otherwise, we don't have information about the row number in this scenario. So since phone numbers are unique, and they should be unique in your case as well, we're going to get this to locate the row in which we're going to put yes or no. So in order to do this, since our Google Sheet doesn't have a plus, right? We did have to put a plus once sending it to Blind AI, but now that we're sending it back to Google Sheets, we have to remove it again, okay? Just because of the formatting here. And so the way you do it is you add this text parser, as I said before, and you put slash, backslash, plus, okay? And that's the pattern that we're looking to replace. And the new value for that is empty string. So you're going to find this if you press with the mouse here, right? You're going to go to here, there you go. So text and binary functions, and you're going to click empty string. There you go. I've put it already, so I'm not going to do that. You're going to select global match is yes, case sensitive yes, multi-line no, single line no, and then the text, right? This is the phone number that we want to remove the plus sign from, and this comes from the webhook straight away. So we can click here, we can go back to star, and you see here that it says 2, okay? This is the number we're calling to, right? So you're going to put that there, click it and put it, okay? And that's it. We're going to click OK. Now we're going to do something with this information. So what are we going to do with this? Well, you're going to put in a Google Sheet module where you're going to search a row, okay? In here, you're going to locate, after you verify a connection to your Google Sheets account, you're going to select the spreadsheet where you're going to select the location where you have your tracker, okay? And once you have that, you're going to put in your column range and we're going to filter, okay? So this is going to help us search for that row that I told you about, right? So we're going to search for a row from which the phone number, so column B in this tracker, should be equal to the phone number that we got and that we formatted from the Blind AI call, okay? So that is sorted, okay? Maximum number of returned rows should be equal to 1, all right? So we go back here and then we're going to go and put in the last module, which is update a cell. So once again, you do the same, right? You locate your file. If you downloaded my template, my tracker, there's only going to be one sheet, and the cell in which you're going to update the value from is going to be the same row with the phone number. In this case, we're going to update a cell, all right? So, right, update a cell. So we're going to do that. And the cell that we're going to update is G and then the row number, okay? This will be grabbed from the previous module, right? Where we search for a row, So you should be able to find this right here. So there we go. So why G in the front? Because G is the name of the column that's labeled coming, right? This is where we're going to put the yes or the no. Great. So once you do that, then we're going to put in the value that we want, which is a yes or a no, right? And we're going to find that from the completion module from the ChatGPT, remember, where we told it that I wanted to answer yes or no given the transcript, right? So it's going to identify what the outcome of the call was, if the user or the lead is going to go to the meeting or no. So yeah, that's what you're going to put here, okay? So if you could scroll down and down and down, you should see the only completion that we have added for ChatGPT. So choices, message, and then content, okay? So you can place that there, right? Once you have done that, you can click OK. And as always, don't forget to click Save. All right, so now it's time to test the entire automation from start to finish, right? We started on our Google Sheet and we're going to end in the Google Sheet with a yes or no on the column G, where we see whether the person is going to attend the meeting or not. All right, so let's run both automations once. So once it is set up, we're going to hit run. We're going to go back to the first automation, hit run as well. And then we're going to go back to the client tracker, okay? Deselect this. Don't worry, this is not going to activate the automation as you see right here, right? I've made it so that the Google App Script does not trigger. It's only when this is ticked again, okay? So having this running and waiting for an answer, now what should happen is that we're going to tick this and then the automations will run and we will get a call, and after the call we should see a yes right here, okay? Let's go. All right, so let's tick right there. We should see this automation is going to happen. We're going to call Blind AI, okay? And now we should receive a call very, very soon. As you can see right here, we're receiving the call. Let's answer it.
Hello, Frank. This is Alex from FG Automation. How are you today?
I'm great, thank you.
Yeah, wonderful to hear, Frank. I'm calling to confirm your appointment scheduled for 11 p.m. tonight. Do you still plan to attend?
Yes, I will attend.
Great. I'm glad to hear that. I'll make a note that you're all set for your 11 p.m. appointment tonight. Is there anything else I can assist you with today?
No, it's all good. Thank you.
Wonderful, Frank. I'm glad I could confirm your appointment. Have a great rest of your day.
And now you should see this part of the automation is going to work. And now if we go back, we're going to see a yes. All right. So if you've managed to do all that, I congratulate you lot. Well done. That's not very easy to do for beginners. Feel free to test this out. So when you receive the call from the voice agent, try to tell it that you don't want to attend the call and you should see a no on column G, okay? It works either way. But nevertheless, feel free to tune the prompt a bit if you want on the HTTP request, and feel free to add in other parameters or edit other parameters that I have added, okay? It's up to you how you want to customize the voice agent. And finally, if you want me to develop and integrate a system like this, or even an entire outbound lead system that includes voice agents within your business, check out the description below where I will leave a Calendly link so that we can have a chat together and see how I can help. With that being said, thanks so much for watching the video, and I'll see you soon.